What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're talking more about the Nintendo Switch 2 and some new information that came out from Nate the Hate on his recent Nate the Hate podcast with MVG, two guys that I know very well and absolutely trust when it comes to information. So we will go over that in addition to some other cool stuff happening with the Nintendo Switch and some games as well. But before we get into all that, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you are someone new, and click that notification bell to get the best Nintendo Switch 2 live streams and more right here on the channel. Now let's go ahead and jump right into the Nintendo Switch 2 information, the rumors that are coming from Nate the Hate. And once again, Nate the Hate is an insider that has gotten so many things right. He is reliable. Like I said, he is a personal friend of mine as well. And when he puts out a new Nate the Hate video, and if there's information that he said that he's sourced or that he has a source for, you can bet that that's actually something that's real. It's not like a lot of these fake rumors that have been popping up here and there. And if you watch the full podcast where they talk about it, they actually go over all the different rumors that have been happening and the clearly fake ones compared to what they think could be possible. So that's what I like about the Nate the Hate podcast with MVG. So let's get into this content here. Now, when it comes to Nintendo Switch 2, they will support NVIDIA DLSS 3.5 and ray reconstruction. Now, this will be a brand new thing for consoles, which will make it more capable, apparently, when it comes to ray tracing than the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series consoles. Now, one thing that Nate and MVG were very clear about, this doesn't mean that this has more raw power or the graphics will look a lot better when it comes to Nintendo Switch 2. It simply means that the ray tracing technology that is available on the Nintendo Switch will be above what PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series will do, which makes sense because ray tracing, in terms of what that is, and NVIDIA, they are above what AMD does. So just make sure that you keep that in mind, guys. This is not the Switch 2 will be way more powerful. It's simply talking about modern techniques and the advancement of technology within the scope of what the Nintendo Switch is doing. Now, another thing here, guys, is that with this NVIDIA DLSS 3.5 AI-powered ray reconstruction, it can considerably improve the quality of the ray tracing, and it'll mostly depend on what they're doing there. Now, another really interesting tidbit that I got from this podcast, I was listening to the whole thing when I was running, is that the Nintendo Switch 2 will have a completely custom SoC. So there's nothing that you can really take off the shelf, like if NVIDIA already has a certain more advanced chip like the Tegra X2 or something like that, right? You can't take that and have a one-to-one comparison with this new system like you could with the Tegra X1. The Tegra X1 with the Nintendo Switch was simply that stock Tegra X1. I think Nintendo changed the clock speeds or something like that, but you can compare it to the NVIDIA Shield. So people can say, okay, well, it's going to be about this powerful and it's going to be able to do just about this. Now, there's other things like the APIs and stuff like that in terms of what you do for development and what the system can do overall, but at the end of the day, it's the Tegra X1. Now, apparently this will not be the case with the Nintendo Switch 2. It's a completely custom SoC, completely custom, and there's nothing that you can necessarily compare it to. You're not going to be able to hook it up and say it has this many teraflops, so therefore it's this capable, because it'll be able to do certain things because of that custom design and how games are built specifically for what they're doing on there with the ARM architecture and everything. So that's actually incredibly exciting. Now, the ray reconstruction stuff, that's like whatever. Ray tracing to me is not necessarily something that's, oh my gosh, get super excited about. But what I am excited about is that custom SoC, the fact that they're building something specifically built, not taking something off the shelf, but specifically built for the needs of what the Nintendo Switch 2 will be, which means that this thing is probably not going to be outdated very quickly. It's going to be a system they'll be able to punch well above its weight and literally its size for years to come. Now, once again, let's just make sure that we don't misconstrue or mess up what we're saying here. Not saying that the Nintendo Switch 2 will be the most powerful system and will be able to do all these different things above PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series. But what I got from the vibe of the podcast is that the Nintendo Switch 2 will be able to handle a lot of those modern games. We'll be able to have beautiful looking graphics. We'll be able to do far more in terms of what it's capable of than what we got with the Nintendo Switch, and developers will have far more access to things like DLSS that'll help out with the frame rate and the image quality quality to where you don't have to have those raw power, those raw numbers in order to push out what you're trying to do. It's going to be based off of the development atmosphere. It's going to be based off of how much RAM do they have. It's going to be based off of using the technology, the AI upscaling. There's going to be a variety of factors that's going to help this system be able to be competent for years down the line. And there will be firmware updates potentially, Nate said this as well, that can help with the ray tracing and help actually improve things as DLSS gets better or as they improve the technology. So this is something that's really cool. It's really good. Now, frame generation believes to not be supported at this point. At least that's what Nate thinks, but we'll see what happens down the line. But yeah, this is definitely exciting stuff for Nintendo. And I've stated this before myself multiple times when it comes to Nintendo Switch 2. People think that Nintendo is just going for the cheapest thing available with what they do, and that's necessarily not the case. I think that back in 2015, 2016, the only thing to pick, the only logical choice when it comes to power, when it comes to efficiency, when it comes to the price and everything, and what was available was the Tegra X1. And at the time, it was like a super mobile chip. There was nothing else that they could pick at that time if they wanted to have a hybrid platform. And clearly, they wanted to have a hybrid platform as they combined their R&D for portable and home console back in like 2013 or so. So they were going towards the hybrid regardless. They were going towards combining those development costs no matter what. So this was the best thing. Nintendo just happened to stumble upon this right there towards the end. It was 2015-ish or so when they're looking at launching, and they just happened to stumble across this chip with Tegra X1. They tried it out. Obviously, it worked. Now you're going to get far more of an investment, and now you don't have an off-the-shelf part. Now you actually have a custom-built SoC for the Nintendo Switch 2, which is going to be great. I think that this is really going to solve a number of problems that Nintendo has had. And I'll tell you guys this right here, and this is from my own personal sources. This is not Nate or anything else like that, but Nintendo themselves, from what I'm hearing, they do not want to have the same issues that they had with the Nintendo Switch. They do not want to have people sitting there and clowning resolution every single time and the frame rate with their own games when it comes to like Warriors games or Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. Like, they don't want that anymore, and that's why they took this investment, and that's why they're doing what they're doing with the DLSS and making sure that it's competent enough. It's probably going to be more expensive than any other Nintendo system in history, but at the same time, you're not going to get those problems that Nintendo ran into with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild right there at launch, what they ran into with The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom sometimes, like when you do a certain thing and there might be some frame rate dips. I think it's going to be far more steady and stable in terms of how Nintendo makes their games. I don't think Nintendo's going to go all out on graphics. I don't think they're going to sit there and try to make the best looking game graphically and spend $500 million on games, but at the same time, it's going to help them realize better looking games. So you're going to get games that look better than The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom or look better than Super Mario Odyssey, and they're going to run far more solid, and Nintendo's going to optimize the heck out of everything for that system with the custom SoC. So that is the exciting thing about the Nintendo Switch 2. And honestly, I think this system is going to get Microsoft, Sony, and many others to follow suit, because we're already seeing that with the PC handhelds. You're seeing a lot of these people, whether it's Lenovo or Valve or any of these other people that are now coming out with their own PC handhelds, and they're not copying Microsoft and Sony and making Steam Box versions 2.0 or whatever the case is. They're making their versions of the Nintendo Switch. So I think that this definitely is going to be the new trend going forward, as ARM is incredibly efficient, as mobile technology gets way better, and as all these new techniques are formed, you're going to see a lot of people kind of do the same thing when it comes to hardware. So let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section below. But now we are going to move on to the next topic here. I want to talk about the launch day for Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Of course, I will be streaming the game, and I will have a review of the game as I play through and have excitement and wonder in this. This is very exciting to have Super Mario Bros. Wonder launch. And there's also some new icons. I want to let you guys know about this because these icons rotate. They're only available for a certain amount of time, like a week. They're available from not at this point to October 26th, and I always miss them sometimes, and sometimes it's ones that I really want. So just keep that in mind, guys. You got these icons here. You can put them as your backgrounds. You can mix and match. I think that this is pretty cool, like what they're doing here with these Nintendo Switch missions and points. And I feel that if Nintendo was able to integrate this way better into the dashboard or right there into your system, this could really create their own achievement system that people have been wanting, but actually make it far more involved. And I think that the Nintendo missions and the points and the rewards, if all of that can be combined to be seamless and faster, because it's a little bit laggy, like when you go into the store and all that, I think that it could really be something really engaging and something fun, or more fun. It's already cool to go pick out which ones you want and get the different points and do the missions and collect the coins. All that stuff is dope. It just takes a little bit of time. It's a little bit laggy. It's not as fast. So with this new system coming up, I think that this is a way to get more people into what you're doing. So I like the fact that they're marketing the game, right? Obviously, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, great reviews that came out. Obviously, it's a really good game, but now you have some cool icons as well. You got the elephant, you got the Wonder Flowers, you got the Bowser on there and everything. You got Mario, so good stuff all around. And the talking flowers, there's so much different stuff to go over here. So good things here, guys. Remember, they will expire October 26th, wave 1. So that means that there's more waves coming, guys. The next wave will probably be after that. So pick them up when you can. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic here, guys, and it's a game that I think is going to be better than people are expecting, but it might end up being a little bit of a hidden gem for some, and that is Persona 5 Tactica. We've got new details on the replay value and the new game plus. You got quests, you've got all sorts of things. This is a jam-packed little game, so don't sleep on it. I know it's coming out the same day as two other big games. You've got Super Mario RPG that's coming out. You also have the Naruto game coming out as well, Connections, which is going to be huge for anime and Naruto fans. But this game comes out the same day. I wish they delayed it, but whatever, it's fine. 3 big games on the same day is a lot for me, but I'll be playing it, and it looks really good. Now, let's talk about some of these quests that you can do in the game. Now, as you progress through the main story, you will unlock quests that involve stages with unique mechanics and challenges. Each quest has its own unique story for you to enjoy. In addition, clearing quests will give you GP to use in a character's skill tree. You can wipe out all enemies in a single turn, hit a box with melee attacks to move it to the goal, or fight in a stage filled with explosives. A wide variety of unique stages await you. So that's pretty cool. It's like our own little challenge mode and quest to get rewards and everything. So I do like when games do that, especially strategy RPGs. Now, that also goes over some of the spoils of victory. So after you do clear these quests, it'll give you the GP, but of course you'll unlock some more of the powerful skills in your skill tree. So you absolutely want to do some of these quests. Now, it'll also give you rewards like unlocking the ability to create powerful personas. So be sure to complete the quest as well. So I like that, being able to swap personas, give you different abilities on the battlefield. Now, let's talk a little bit more about reaping these rewards of replay while aiming for different awards that you can do. So the replay feature lets you play previously cleared stages again at any time. You can earn the same stage rewards again, such as experience, money, personas. This is perfect for strengthening your characters. And listen, guys, I know this sounds trivial, but I'd say a lot of games don't do this very well. I like power leveling. I like grinding in games that I really love. I love doing that in like Xenoblade Chronicles and other titles. So give me the ability to replay stages. Give me the ability to earn more rewards. Give me the ability to max out my characters. If I'm playing on the harder difficulty, I want to be able to get super powerful. So I like that. In addition, each stage has 3 bonus challenges that you can complete for an award. Try accomplishing objectives such as clear the stage in X turns, or clear the stage with no members being KO'd, to put your battle smarts to the test and earn rewards. Very much like Disgaea, they do that with theirs as well. Earning awards will increase the amount of money and experience you receive, so aim to achieve all 3 stars for every stage. You can also try raising the difficulty and aim to earn awards for a fun challenge. So I like that as well. Give me the difficulty, give me all of that. Now let's talk about the New Game Plus. Ever since I played New Game Plus with Chrono Trigger back in the day, I've always wanted it in every single RPG or every single game that I've played. Now, after clearing the game, you can start again with New Game Plus, which carries over data like your Persona Compendium, unlocked fusions, money, weapons, and more. Use New Game Plus to complete the Persona Compendium or replay on a higher difficulty. It's classic, it's great, I love it. This is what you need to do. Now, there's also like illustrations and other things that you can unlock by playing the game. And like I stated before, do not sleep on Persona 5 Tactica. I think it's going to be a nice bite-sized game for people to sit there and play when it comes to a strategy RPG. Now, I know $60 for this game. I know a lot of people are going to be like, don't want to pay that, but that's okay. Especially the day that it's coming out with Super Mario RPG and Naruto and all that. You can wait for it or you can pick it up later, but I think it's going to be a really solid game. I think it's going to review well. I think that the graphics look sharp been nice. I think that the replay value's there. I think the content's there. I think people are just kind of like, Persona 5 again when it comes down to it. I mean, they have milked Persona 5 to death at this point. So I think people are just kind of tired of Persona 5. And I feel that if this was just a new IP or something different, right? Or maybe just a new game in like the Mega 10 series and it was different characters, I think people might be a little bit more excited for it. But at the same time, I think it's still going to be a really good game. Now, Persona 5 Tactica is due out for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, PC via Steam, November 17th. It's also available on Game Pass, so pretty much everyone will have access to play the game. So let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section. Now let's go to move on to one final topic here, guys, and I wanted to discuss this because I found it interesting. And it's the fact that Nintendo removed the original Switch reveal video from their YouTube page. So that's very interesting, and that's got people talking about all sorts of stuff. So did Nintendo remove this because they have an upcoming event or something announced and they don't want there to be confusion between the new Nintendo Switch that's coming out, the Nintendo Switch 2, and this system? Did they remove it for SEO changes, search engine optimization? So when you type that in, it brings up the new system instead of that? Something tells me it's has to be related to something around this. There's gotta be something because Nintendo's a very particular company, and removing just that one seems like, okay, there's a reason for it. So with all the rumors that are swirling around, with the information that's been coming out from Gamescom and how Nintendo is preparing, with how Nintendo is doing their software, with the last Nintendo Direct that we had, it absolutely seems like Nintendo is preparing and getting ready for that reveal. Now, I don't think it's going to be this year. 2023 honestly might be Nintendo's best year when it comes to games. They had 4 90+ rated games this year, with Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Future Redeemed, with Super Mario Bros. Wonder, with Metroid Prime Remastered, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. You don't really see that at all. I don't even remember the last time that a company has done that from a first-party standpoint, and that doesn't include all the 80s+ games as well. I will have a separate video going over this, especially after we get some more stuff like the new WarioWare game that's coming out. In addition to Super Mario RPG, it's making their years even more stacked with those games. But yeah, there's something going on here with the Nintendo Switch and what Nintendo's doing. They're getting ready for it, and the Switch has all the momentum. The fact that it's still selling this well, games are still selling really well, Nintendo has the momentum. They are ready to go with something else. We just don't know if this is going to be something that plays a part into that. But I think that Nintendo, they kind of have the right people in place at this point to make sure that they get the Nintendo Switch 2 off to a hot start. And I think that whatever they're doing when it comes to removing certain things or getting stuff ready or certain marketing aspects, I think they're kind of just prepping things, getting it ready to go. We'll probably see the reveal early next year. That's what I'm guessing. Nintendo does have games throughout the first half of 2024. There are a number of ports, some new games, Princess Peach Showtime, for example. You have some remasters that are coming out as well, some remakes. You have some Mario stuff that's coming, Luigi's Mansion, obviously, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. So there are some good games coming out next year, but there aren't really a ton of new big reveals. So I think Nintendo got everything out this year, ending the last full year of the Nintendo Switch with a big Zelda game, big Mario game, awesome stuff there. And then now they can kind of move to the next thing as they get into the next phase of what they want to do with the Switch and the family of systems and the next evolution and successor to what Nintendo's doing here. So what do you guys think about everything that we discussed? I think it's fascinating with all these different topics. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out our other Nintendo Switch and RPG news videos, Nintendo Switch 2 stuff right here on screen. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.